So what is going on, guys? Native93 here with another video, and Microsoft Office just got a nice amount of updates for the iPad Pro, and I know how important Microsoft Office is to a lot of iPad Pro users, especially those people that want to switch to iPad Pro full-time. That's one of their biggest caveats, right? It's like, hey, iPad Pro works great, but for work and for everything that I do, I'm a Microsoft user, and those apps don't work that well. So I wanted to show you guys what Microsoft did on the native application side, so those apps that you get from the App Store, and show you how they've improved over time, because last time we checked on them, I want to say 6 to 9 months ago, they were very watered down, but you guys are going to be surprised at what they were able to do. So let me show you guys exactly what they changed up. Alright guys, so what I wanted to show you was Microsoft came out with a nice little update to all of their native applications. And most of you know, like I mentioned earlier, that whenever I talk about Microsoft Office on the iPad Pro, I usually recommend people use the Office suite in Safari, right? So you go into Safari, type in office.com, and then it'll take you to the whole Office suite. And for the most part, it's a nice desktop experience. You get a lot of the same desktop type features that you would on the Windows native or even macOS native applications, because in the beginning especially, we had issues with these, quote-unquote App Store applications or native applications for the iPad Pro and all iPads. They were very watered down, and then even when iPadOS 13 and even 14 came out, it didn't adopt a lot of the features that made the iPad, an amazing device. Like, it didn't do split screen view, you couldn't have more than one of them open at the same time, you couldn't copy and paste from different applications and move it over and things like that. So now Microsoft ideally has adopted a lot of those, and I'm ready to kind of show those off to you guys, because I know a lot of viewers want to use the iPad Pro as a professional computer, and it's tough because for most professional jobs that aren't in the creative space, which is a good percentage of us, we need Microsoft Office, and we need it to run it well, and we need it to run at a corporate level in order to justify having the iPad Pro as your main device. So depending on how intensely you use Microsoft Office, I use it, I would say, at a normal level, normal to low level. I'm not a big Microsoft Office whiz, but let's hop right into it. The first one we're going to start off with is Outlook, and actually I love Outlook. Outlook is a great mail client just overall, not even just for work. I use it also for a lot of my personal email. But you can see that when I hover over some of these buttons, you can see that the cursor has now adopted that 13.4 support and allows you to it kind of magnetizes itself over to those options, which I really, really love. And then what's also nice is that you get the split screen. So if I move this over, you can have two instances of Outlook open at the same time, move stuff around, no big deal. So that's beautiful. Outlook is just a mail client, like I said earlier, and it works very well, and I love the dark mode option. So the next one I'm going to do is actually in Excel. Excel is the application that most people have questions about because it's a very important application to a lot of people. So having Excel and having Excel working how you're used to it working is not going to be exactly the same, but it has taken some great strides in the recent months. One thing that actually wasn't added quite yet was the ability to have split screen with two instances of that Excel file. So if you guys can see, I'm trying to drop another one in there and it doesn't work. And then just real quick, I want to see if, let's say, Outlook opens with it. So Outlook, it does. So it supports split view, but not with two instances of the same app, unfortunately, right? So I'm going to get out of the Outlook one, but I do want to walk you guys through some of the additions that they made. So again, if you guys can see, it adopted that 13.4 cursor support, so it looks and functions just how Apple intended it to finally, because most of the third-party applications, it's not Apple's fault that they're not adopting it. It's, those applications just don't want to get around to it. They have the API kits, they have the SDK kits, but they just don't want to go around and recode for the cursor support. And especially somebody like Microsoft, who's a direct competitor to Apple, it's tough for them to say, hey, I need to update this for my iPad Pro users. So it's definitely a tough thing to swallow. But you can see that they finally did, and all the options on the top work perfectly, and they're working just like Apple wanted it to, right? And then again, the cells, they don't work like numbers do, where each cell gets highlighted every time you hover over it. But as you can see, it does work. And we're going to do a simple addition problem right here. So equals the sum here of there. Drag that down. We'll close this off, and there you see it. It actually does work. So normal addition problems and normal formulas work. And you saw that I can drag everything within a few cells, and it works like how it's supposed to. But then if you go into insert, again, all these different things were added. This used to not be here, or at least not that in depth, right? You can do charts, add comments, even throw add-ins here, which I really like. So if you go into all the add-ins right here, you can actually install different add-ins to help make Excel that much more useful and that much better. Again, I don't know many of these, but They're there, and there are probably more easy ways to accommodate databases and accommodate different formulas. You can even draw on it with the Apple Pencil, which I love. So if you just press on that, you can see I'm using the Apple Pencil, and I can write right on the Excel sheet and then be done with it. And then I go to formulas. They added all these formulas, and then they even have all these different statistics, the engineering, and so on and so forth. So you have everything pretty much right then and there, which I really, really like. It kind of makes it easy for you to use Excel on your iPad. And then you have all the data filtering. You can review it to show comments, and then finally view, freeze the panes, move things over, zoom in and out, and you're good to go. So Excel is getting there. Excel works as a basic, I would say Excel works as like a basic database or a basic way to store information, to store numbers, to get some formulas going, because it will work. And the best way to actually use this is probably not to start from scratch with an Excel sheet, but if you have something on your Windows computer, if you have something on your Mac OS computer, you can open it on here and then use it that way, and it'll work perfectly fine, which is why I like Excel, and that's exactly why I like Microsoft Office on the iPad Pro. Because then if I move on to Word, which Word is actually one of my favorite ones, right? Word works the best in my opinion. It's the closest you get to the native desktop application, and I love it just for the same reason I told you about Excel. I like to be able to go into my OneDrive, open up whatever company material that I have, or any, let's say, agreements that I need to get signed. I open it up, and then all of a sudden I'm able to just sign it with my pencil and then send it back to a client, let's say. And that's just a beautiful thing to have. So I'm going to open up a new one. You can see that I can just open this guy up. It has all the same functions that you would see from normal Word. Like I said, you have the insert, the draw. So for instance, what I did with one of the agreements that I had the other day was I just opened it up on my iPad and then just signed my name on it, put the date, and then I was good to go, right? And that's what I like. And you can even draw with your finger, so you can draw with touch. Like I'm using my finger right now to draw. Turn that off. You can change the layout, review everything, view everything, and then you even have other options over here to send it to your phone or to have a mobile view, to share. You can even export into different types of documents, like a PDF or a text file. So I like Word. Word itself is just a great application overall. So if you guys are in the Microsoft suite, if you're paying for it already, I recommend using Microsoft Word on your iPad Pro over any other text editor out there. And then the final one that I do want to touch on is PowerPoint itself. So just a quick little check, PowerPoint does work side by side. So again, Excel is the only Microsoft application that does not use, or it does not let you have two instances of the same application. Why that is, I have no idea. And it seems like an actual decision made by Microsoft, because everything else has that split screen, right? So here's PowerPoint, very easy to use. I was actually using this last night, discussing and going over ideas. You can do all the animations, preview the slideshow, review everything. And like I said, the iPad Pro works great with Microsoft, especially if you're in the cloud, because whatever you do on your computer, then you can easily open it up in your OneDrive on the iPad Pro and do quick edits on the go. And that's what I think these native apps are for. The native apps are, you can start a whole project on them, especially on PowerPoint and Word, but they're also there to quickly do edits, quickly make adjustments, and quickly be able to just do work on the fly off of already created documents. So that is my 2 cents on it. It got a nice little update, like I mentioned, but it's still missing a few more things, especially on the Excel side. I know that you guys want pivot tables and more things along those lines, just to be able to tie it into other applications, let's say. But that's going to do for this view. Let's go to the normal view. And that's pretty much going to do for this video. Like I mentioned during the video, Excel is still lacking a decent amount. So if you're an Excel person that needs every single Excel, setting and use case and all those things, then it's not ready for you. It really isn't. But if you need something just to track simple financials, if you need a template just to be used, or if you need Excel just as a supplemental version for your desktop Excel, for instance, like I said, if you need to work on your current Excel sheet that you're working on your desktop and work on your iPad, then it's a great combination. But if you want to start a crazy database from scratch, it's going to take you a little while. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. I think it could be done, but like I said, the learning curve might be not worth switching to Excel on iPad. But Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, even OneNote, which I didn't even touch on, those all work great, and they're all great applications on the iPad Pro. And in my opinion, you can get all your corporate business work done with those applications. Like I said, Excel needs a little bit more work, and I wonder why Microsoft is kind of delaying it, because they probably know how much work needs to be put in to really maximize Excel the way the iPad Pro can. And I think they're scared because it'll probably run better on the iPad Pro than it would on any of their Surface or Surface X products. But that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know this was pretty requested, and shout out to the person that actually told me that it got updated because I didn't really notice. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. It ends on Sunday, and I'm going to do a new one on Monday, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know we're going crazy with all these videos, but I wanted to bring all this stuff to you in as soon as possible. And until next time, peace. Also, shout out to my boy RJ. He's doing real cool stuff. I'm going to link his channel below, but he's the man. He's doing great stuff, guys. Check him out.